Hey there. Ready for a deep dive into some serious financial realities?
Mhm.
Today, we're talking about the cost of starting a family. And hey, maybe even throwing a furry friend into the mix. We're going deep with insights from Finshots. They're always great at breaking down complex financial stuff, making it easy to understand. And the cool thing is, they actually surveyed their own community to get these numbers, so we're dealing with real-world experiences here, not just theoretical stuff.
Yeah, and one interesting thing they found is that more and more millennials, especially in cities in India, are choosing to be DINKs, double income, no kids.
Okay, DINKWACs got it. But why? Why are we seeing this trend?
Well, Finshots highlights a few reasons. I mean, think about it. Career ambitions, wanting to give your kid the absolute best, even the whole environmental thing, anxieties about bringing a child into that.
Right, so it's not just about like minivans and packing lunches anymore. There's some bigger, more serious considerations in the mix now.
Exactly. And speaking of serious considerations, let's talk about the financial side.
Um,
Finshots breaks down the cost of parenthood in India. And honestly, the numbers are pretty eye-opening. Even just starting with pregnancy and childbirth, those initial costs alone can be a hurdle for a lot of people.
right, and then it just keeps going, right? You've got childcare, education.
Yeah,
It's a commitment long term.
absolutely. And, when we talk about education in India, we're talking big, big numbers. Finshots found that higher education can run you somewhere between 25 and 40 lakhs per year.
Yeah.
To put that in perspective, we're talking the price of like a luxury car
Yeah.
every single year.
Okay, yeah, that's not small change.
Yeah.
So anyone thinking about having kids really needs to factor in that long-term financial picture.
No question. But here's the thing. There are these hidden expenses, too, on top of all that. And the Finshots community had some interesting examples.
Oh, okay, spill the tea. What are we talking about?
Well, first of all, weddings. I mean, we all know Indian weddings can be pretty extravagant, and those costs, they add up fast. Then you've got all those extras for the kids, like tutoring, music lessons, sports, all great opportunities for a child. But they definitely come with a price tag.
And it's not like those prices are going to stay the same either, right?
Right.
You've got to consider inflation.
Huge point. The cost of, well, everything is likely to go up over the next 15, 20 years. So the cost we're talking about now, that's really just the beginning.
So it's almost like future-proofing your finances, planning for those rising costs.
Exactly. And, one thing that often gets overlooked is the opportunity cost. Like, if one parent takes a career break to care for the child, that lost income, it has a ripple effect on the whole family's finances.
Right. It's not just the money you're spending directly, but also what you're potentially missing out on.
Exactly. And speaking of ripple effects, we can't forget about the housing upgrade dilemma. Think about your ideal neighborhood for raising kids. Safe streets, good schools, maybe a park nearby. Well, those things usually mean a bigger home, probably in a more expensive area.
Yeah, you picture that perfect family neighborhood. It probably comes with a premium price tag.
It all connects, right?
Hmm.
The decision to have children goes way beyond those initial costs. It's really about understanding the long-term implications for your finances, career, lifestyle, everything.
So it sounds like this isn't about, scaring people away from having kids, but just giving them the full picture so they can make an informed decision.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, right?
Mhm.
Especially when it comes to finances. Now, we've been talking about starting a family in the traditional sense, but there's another trend Finshots highlighted. DINKWADs and DINKWACs.
Wait, come again? What was that? Dink?
DINKWAD, double income, no kids with the dog, or
Yeah.
DINKWAC with a cat.
Oh, okay. I got it. So like experiencing some of those joys of parenthood, but with a furry friend.
Right. And while pets can definitely bring so much happiness, it's important to remember they come with their own financial responsibilities.
So, okay, pets aren't free. What kind of costs are we actually talking about?
Well, Finshots gives a pretty good rundown of the average expenses. Things like food, vet care, grooming, even all those cute little toys and accessories we love to spoil them with.
Yeah, the basics, the essentials.
Right. But it's important to remember those are just averages. Sometimes those unexpected medical expenses can really throw your budget out of whack.
Oh, tell me about it. My friend's dog needed emergency surgery once, and the bills were just crazy.
And that's exactly it. Pet healthcare costs can be so unpredictable. Actually, Finshots even shared a story from one of their readers whose dog had a ligament tear. The surgery ended up costing them 2 lakhs.
2 lakhs. Okay, yeah, that's a serious hit.
It is. So those routine expenses are important to consider, but you also got to factor in those unexpected things that can pop up.
Makes sense. So what can pet parents do? How can they prepare for that kind of thing?
Well, pet health insurance is becoming more common in India. It's still relatively new, but definitely worth looking into. And even if you don't go the insurance route, Having an emergency fund specifically for your pet is always a smart move. You just never know.
Yeah, like a financial safety net for your furry friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about planning ahead and, being ready for anything.
So whether you're team Dink, Dinkwad, or somewhere in between, it sounds like financial awareness is key. Finshots has really given us a lot to think about.
They have. And one of the most interesting things about all this is how it shows how the priorities of our generation are changing, like the traditional milestones, marriage, kids, owning a home. Those aren't necessarily the top priority for everyone anymore.
Yeah, it's like we're rewriting the script on what a successful life looks like.
Exactly. And that's exciting. But like any big life decision, understanding the financial side is just crucial. Finshots even has a goal planner spreadsheet for anyone who wants to really dig into the numbers.
Wait, a spreadsheet. I'm all about a good spreadsheet.
Right. It's about giving people the tools to make choices that align with their values, but also their financial situation. It's one thing to talk about these costs in general, but when you can actually, plug in your own income and expenses and goals, it becomes a lot more real.
Absolutely. Helps you see the big picture.
Exactly. It's about empowering you to take control of your finances and create the life you want.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into the costs of parenthood and pet ownership, what are the big takeaways? What do we want our listeners to remember?
I think the biggest one is just awareness. Whether you're dreaming of having a big family, thinking about adopting a pet, or embracing the whole DINK lifestyle.
I totally agree. It's not about judging anyone's choices. It's about giving them the knowledge to make the best decision for their own situation, their own goals.
Exactly. And, while we focused a lot on the financial side, it's so important to remember that there's more to it than just numbers. There are those emotional rewards, the personal fulfillment, the love and companionship that come with building a family, whether it's with kids or furry friends.
That stuff is priceless.
Absolutely. But even with those priceless rewards, having a strong financial foundation just makes the journey so much smoother.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So everyone listening, I hope this has sparked some thoughtful conversations, maybe even some debates. It's all about open communication and planning ahead.
It really is. And remember, Finshots encourages everyone to share this information. You might just help someone else navigate these decisions with a little more financial clarity. Sharing knowledge is a powerful thing.
Absolutely. So before we sign off, I got to ask you, knowing all these costs, considering all these different perspectives, what's one question our listeners should be asking themselves?
That's a great question. I think the question everyone needs to ask themselves is, knowing these costs, how might you adjust your financial planning or lifestyle choices to achieve your family goals, whatever those may be?
That's the big question, isn't it? And it's so personal, too.
It really is. It's all about looking inward, being honest with yourself about what truly matters, and then figuring out how your finances fit into that picture.
So it's not just about crunching the numbers. It's about aligning your spending with your values.
Exactly. Some people might need to take a good look at their budget, see where they can cut back. Others might need to prioritize certain things, like maybe putting more money aside for a future family fund, even if it means, fewer vacations or eating out less.
And for some people, it might even mean like a whole career change, something with more stability or maybe more flexibility.
Yeah, that's a big one. It's crazy how these financial decisions can sometimes lead us to completely rethink our careers. And I know making those big changes can be scary.
It can be, but the key is to be intentional, right? To make choices that are moving you towards those goals.
I love that. Being intentional. It's about taking control instead of just reacting to what everyone else is doing or what you think you should be doing. It's about saying, this is what matters to me, and I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah, it's empowering, right? To realize you have that power.
It is. And sometimes achieving those goals might mean pushing things back a bit or making some tough choices. Maybe it means downsizing your place or, not buying so much stuff. But ultimately, it's about finding that balance between what you want and what you can actually do.
Finding what works for you, your own situation.
Right.
And hey, if that means doing things differently than what everyone expects, well, that's okay.
It's more than okay. It's about defining success on your own terms. And at the end of the day, whether you choose to have kids, adopt pets, or, whatever your goals are, it's your journey. That's a great way to put it. And I think that's what makes this whole conversation so important. It's not about telling people what they should do. It's about giving them the information and the encouragement to make those choices for themselves.
Exactly. It's about empowering people
to take control of their finances and their lives.
So to everyone listening, remember, this whole financial well-being thing, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Pace yourself, be smart, and most importantly, enjoy the journey.
And hey, don't forget to share this with your friends. You never know, you might spark a conversation that helps someone else make a big decision. Sharing knowledge is a powerful thing.
It really is. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And remember, no matter what path you choose, you got this.